We are also now looking, how do we redeem ourselves? Of course, Susan, what you have said, I have been that. I am that person that lost my virginity. I'm that person that has experienced all those things that you have said. I'm struggling with masturbation. I'm struggling with pornography. I'm struggling with dressing. I'm struggling with the way I was socialized. And I'm struggling with fornication. I'm a bisexual. So mimi ni bisexual. Si tunaelewa hiyo? Bisexual, right? I'm bisexual. I'm considering transgendering, right? I have kissed. See, they say in English, what do they say? There's a saying in English, kiss many frogs until what? You finally kiss a prince, sindio? Yes. So I have done that. And my ata leo jioni, naenda video call na my girlfriend and my boyfriend. So what do I do? I want us to go to a very special song that is found, song number 289 in our, because that's where it's going to be our beginning point, song 289. And what does it say? Do you know that song? You know, with me, I fear singing because I mean naimba off key everywhere. Nitaanza na key C, nitamaliza na D na F, nitaweka zote ndani. Anyone who knows that song? Okay, then let me try. The Savior is waiting to enter your heart. Why don't you let him come in? There's nothing in this world to keep you apart. What is your answer to him? Time after time, he has waited before, and now he's waiting again to see if you're willing to open the door. Oh, how he wants to come in. If you take one step toward the Savior, my friend, you'll find his arms open wide. Receive him and all of your darkness will end. Within your heart to abide. Time after time, he has waited before, and now he's waiting again to see if you're willing to open the door. Oh, how he wants to come in. So even when you are going through that painful journey of hurting yourself sexually, the Savior is waiting for you. And that is our beginning point of our healing sexually. See the song? Twende kwa Yesu mimi nawe, njia tuonya tuijue, imo chuoni na mwenyewe, hapa asema njoo. Mpaka hapo. What is Christ telling you? Njoo. He is pleading with you. Please come. Satan has hurt you. He's caused so much pain for your sexual body. Jesus is telling you what? Come. Walk home. Sindio? Walk. Kuja home. Walk nyumbani. Yes, that is what our Savior is telling us. And I will tell you, my friends, it is the best decision you can make as a young person. Are we together? You remember in the morning we said the result of any sexual sin is what? Death. And you know what you need to know here today? The only voice that death hears is the voice of Jesus. Remember that. It doesn't matter what has died in your sexual system. Christ will call it back to life. Come to Jesus. That's what Jesus is telling us. So now what happens when I come to Jesus? Yes, I know Jesus is waiting for me and he has called me home and I have come. Then what happens to me when I come? He's going to give you a chance, another chance in your life. All right? And he's going to engage you in an amazing journey with him. All right? So what are some of the things that you need to do in this journey? Shut down all triggers. Did you hear me? What do you need to do? Shut down all triggers. In line in this ministry, I have engaged with very many young people, and we have a personal talk with young people. And in this talk is that a couple of young men tell me, my triggers come, number one, when I watch a blue scene in a series or in a movie. Do you understand the blue scenes? The blue scenes when the actors are kissing, all right? Or they're cuddling. Now that's a blue scene for me, and when I see, I get a trigger. All right? And so the thing is, shut down all triggers that trigger you to hurt yourself sexually. All right? And sometimes, and I always, this is on a light note, but if it can work for you, it's okay. If you're struggling with pornography, pornography automatic, you will masturbate. If that's your struggle, hiyo simu ishelve kidogo tu. Yeke kidogo, tafute kabambe. Tell everyone on the wall, kwa wall yet hapa, I'm only available on voice calls. Ama SMS, kwa WhatsApp sipatikani. Sawa? Because you have to train your brain thoroughly on how to stop the triggers. All right? I'll tell you what happened. One day, I received a call at 10 p.m. You see, I don't do night calls. I avoid night calls. I tell everyone, night is time for family. All right? So I received a call at 9 p.m. I didn't pick it. The person called again. I just didn't pick it. I was in a place where I could pick it. And on Sabbath, a young man came to me and told me, Madam Susan, that was a hysterical call. I desperately needed to talk to you. And I asked him, why did you want... Okay, at first I had to apologize. But I called him. I actually returned the call, but he didn't pick the call, okay? But in the morning, in the day, I did return the call. And he told me, I called you just the minute I had stopped masturbating. And I cried to God because he had a history whereby he was dating a girlfriend and the girl was pressuring him for sex, but he said no. And in that pressure, he had developed a masturbating issue from high school. All right? So now in that pressure, the girlfriend made the issue worse. And because he was determined that he's not going to sleep with that girl, he had to end that relationship. All right? So in the process, he's been struggling for so long with he must have struggled for about 10 years. And told me, I want to break from this habit. And we talked, and our engagement was that, number one, let's give the issue to Jesus. All right? And I asked him, what are your triggers? He told me, see, I mostly work at home. And you see, when I'm using my laptop, I'm always going to get those blue scenes in line with work. And so we had to pray for that. So we agreed that, number one, for the next 1 or 2 months, no working from home, just go physically to work. And he did that. And even when now he finally had to work from home, God did work for him. We prayed over the issue. We prayed with him. And now I'll tell you now the next point where his delivery also came is because he took the point number 2 that I want to say now. No, point number 3 that I want to say now. He engaged in physical activities. Right? To break away from any sexual sin, you must engage physical activity. Now, let me explain this a little bit so that we get it. You see what happens? If you're breaking from one bad habit, you must occupy that bad habit with a positive habit. All right? That's what happens with the sexual sin. So if you don't, then you're going to have a vacuum in your life. All right? Now, let me explain this a little bit. There's a time I did a session somewhere at KU, and then I did another session at Corporate University. At the Corporate University is when I met this girl, and she told me I was at KU and I listened to your talk. And because I was sexually active with my boyfriend, I had to end that relation. My boyfriend did not agree with me as stopping engaging sexually, but I had to end that relationship painfully. But now I am struggling with masturbation. You get it? So now we had to work up to a program how she had to get engaged physically. All right? Another time I got a young man who called me. No, he sent something on the wall and said, I need help with masturbation. So I called him and he explained to me what's happening. I just told him, he told me he was in Minnesota. All right? He was in Minnesota. So I told him, near your Minnesota, are you able to go into a gym? He told me yes. And can you give me 2 hours every day? He said, yes, I'll give you 2 hours. He called me 4 months later and told me, I no longer masturbate. The boy we were praying with, when he engaged into physical, in line with work, he could go to the gym. So every day he would go to the gym. And when he doesn't go to the gym, he would go jogging. He used to jog somewhere in town. He would go somewhere and jog. And inside 6 months, I'm coming to church in the morning, and I meet the most beautiful smile. And hands that are waiting to give me a hug. And she told me, Madam Susan, our Father has delivered me. So yes, you can be delivered from all sexual sin. All right? And now what we are saying here today, so even you know, I don't know the compass of this place very well, but you have to determine to stop. Is that clear? The main thing you have to determine to do what? You have to tell your brain, I have hurt my system so much, now I need to stop. And you can talk to your brain. No, your brain understands what you say. So when you're tempted to watch porno, you tell your brain, no. And you see now that gets recorded in your brain. The loud no gets recorded in your brain. So your brain now learns to live without the pornography. Or the brain learns to not to live with what? With the sexual sin. Actually start like deleting. Because you already created a pathway. Now your brain starts deleting that pathway. That's going to help you to come out of the sexual sin. And also there, so yeah, I was telling you, yes, my friend was delivered. Is that clear? But remember, the first step is Jesus. All right? And please pray for yourself and pray for somebody else. The other thing is you can get an accountable partner. Is that clear? If you're struggling with any sexual sin, you can get a sexual accountable partner or friend. So when you see, I must masturbate, call your friend. And your friend knows when I get a call at 10 from my friend, it's the temptation that is so high and I must help my friend. So your friend will engage you into a talk. You can sing hymns, you can do the Bible, or you can get into a talk, or you can talk about something that will seriously disengage your brain from thinking about sexual things. All right? So when your friend calls you, you are their friend. Is that clear? Usiende kuaibisha. Sikiliza rafiki yako vizuri na msaidie. When your friend is struggling, you're in a missionary field to help your friend. Is that clear? Yes. All right? And get social support groups. All right? Unajua wanasema birds of the same feather do what? Flock together. Sindio? Kwa hivyo mnajuana. Sindio? You will know. If you're struggling with masturbation, you know somebody else is struggling with it. If you're homosexual, you know someone else who is in it. If you are struggling with fornication, you know someone else who is in it. Join a social group, a social support group where you are able to support each other. Is that clear? Because we must get to a place where we are asking Jesus to have mercy on us and give us secondary virginity. Is that clear? And then the next thing, set clear boundaries. Or let me put it here. Set clear sexual boundaries. Is that clear? Let everyone know what you're working on. Is that clear? And particularly, let me say something here. You know, I get so disturbed. I get so disturbed. Why? Si kila mtu ametoka kwao hapa, si ndio? Si kila mtu ametoka kwao hapa. Na mzazi wako amechukulia nyumba hapa, si ndio? Amekuchukulia ama amewachukulia. Isn't it? Are we getting that? Wewe unafanya nini kwa nyumba ya mwenzako ambaye ni wa jinsia tofauti na wewe? You know, and I'm saying this because I have heard a lot that, and allow my discipline here now. I have heard a lot, msichana unatoka shule hapa, unaenda kwa kijana unaosha nguo zake. Na kuna mikono ngapi? Nalitoka kwa kijana kwa naosha nguo zake. Why do you do that? You know, I don't understand. To be very honest, I don't understand that bit. I don't. Now, kama a young man, why would you allow a girl to wash your clothes? Why? You see why I'm saying this? I dated my husband for 3.5 years. I was his girlfriend for 3.5 years. I was 20. I got married at 28. He was 38. But until he married me is when I washed his clothes. With me, I was his girlfriend. I don't touch his clothes. I did 3.5 years. And I knew he was going to marry me. I never touched his clothes. So why would you do that? Unajua hata his boyfriend permanent. Ili ya ku heartbreak. You're buying love favors. No, you're on your own. Do not sacrifice your dignity. And I'm not telling girls not to be hardworking. Hata wewe mwanaume, Yesu alijioshia nguo. Kwani unafanya wengine unakuoshia nguo zako? Do you think Jesus will depend on you to wash his clothes when he was at his mother's place? See, your parents are still taking care of you. Why would you do that? Jesus never engaged. He never ate food from idle hands. He worked super hard. Then why would you have someone to wash your clothes? Number 2. Lakini mnakumbuka vile tulisema jana, wewe unachukua bibi ya wenyewe anakuoshia nguo, si ndio? Na sasa wako anafanya nini? Sio story tuachie tu hapo. Yeye anaoshia wanaume wengine nini? So you are enslaving your wife more. Akikuja kwako atakuwa hata hana nguvu ya kukuoshia nguo. Na ni wewe ulifanya. Yes, don't. Take care of you. And let me tell you girls, Ellen G. White in the book Messages to Young People, not messages, something to young lovers. Let us to love youngers. I think it's that one. Has told girls, you can only engage with a man that knows how to engage with the house chores. However, if a boyfriend asks you to go to their house to wash his clothes, who you see husband material, usiende. Husband material shows up well kept and well groomed. Kwa sababu ndio tumeanza shida na namba ya pili. Wewe msichana unatoka kwa nyumba yako. Umelipwa na wazazi wako. Unaenda kwa nyumba ya mwanaume ambaye pia analipwa nyumba na wazazi wake. Ni kama hauna kwako. You know, ni tabia mbaya sana. Allow me to say that. Hiyo ni tabia mbaya, wasichana warembo. Hiyo ni nini? Tabia mbaya. Let me tell you something, young girls. You see, you will visit that home. But the next thing, you know what that man offers? Akona mshale. Na huo mshale una mikuki. Are you getting that? Are you getting that figurative speech? That man has a penis. And that penis produces semen. And that semen has sperms. And you're going to be pregnant. Tumeelewa hapo? Did we get? Tumeelewa hapo? Did we get that? Yani ukifanya hesabu, wale watoto wameabotiwa ni wengi kunyina ile uchafu imekolektiwa kwa university.